Welcome to Books Under Your Bed. I'm Wesley McCraw. Today I'm just going to talk about a popular television show that came out recently on Netflix, Adolescence. Everyone has been talking about it, so why don't I join in on the conversation? Adolescence is a miniseries on Netflix. It's only 4 episodes long. It's a British crime drama about a 13-year-old schoolboy who is suspected of murdering one of his female classmates. Each episode is one continuous take. Unlike a lot of shows that try to do a continuous take episode, these don't use any editing tricks of like when you pan a camera you switch to another shot, or these are actually continuous takes. Which is pretty amazing, partly because of the episodes are complex shots, but on top of that, since it's about a 13-year-old boy, the actor, I believe his name is Owen Cooper, has to do complex, super challenging scenes with lots of emotional changes and depth. Even though this is the first thing he's ever acted in, it's pretty remarkable, especially the third episode. So that has been lauded by lots of other people. The acting in general across the board is amazing. The writing is really great at capturing moments in people's lives, implying a lot from the small bits and pieces you get to see. Since each episode of the 4 episodes is one continuous shot, you're getting 1 hour out of these people's lives at a time. So they have to get a lot of information and a lot of meaning out of these really brief moments, snapshots really, slices of life of the various characters, so that it has bigger implications for what the themes and ideas that the story is trying to get across. Without ruining things, the theme of the show and the issues that it's tackling is sort of toxic masculinity, incel culture, bullying, this sort of divide between parents and their kids. Okay, now on to my criticisms of the show. I think the show does what it can with only having 4 episodes and having continuous shots. And those are super strengths of the show, but it does have drawbacks. It does make it so that they can't flesh out certain things that you would normally want to do in a normal show. A few of like the female characters and ideas that aren't centered around the father and the boy get kind of shortchanged and underexplored. And I don't think that that's a true flaw, in the sense that I'm not sure if they should have tried to fix that, because the show is so focused and limited and gets a lot of power from that it was okay for them to cut things out. But it does highlight that the show is written by 2 men, Jack Thorne and Stephen Graham. Stephen Graham plays the father supremely well, but that limited perspective sort of makes the show one type of show, and it's easy to imagine like what would the show look like if there was a woman writer involved. Would it be more balanced? Would it highlight things that are sort of missed by having 2 male writers? So I think that like the show did as good a job as it could from the limited perspective of those 2 writers. I think they probably did a lot of research and consultation with other groups of people to flesh out their story. So I'm like not at all accusing the show of sexism or anything like that. It's just they as creators have blind spots and can only write about specific things. And I think that they did a great job of writing about those specific things. But there's a lot of ideas that could be explored that weren't. All of that said, this show is completely remarkable and worth watching. You should seek it out. One of the best experiences I've had watching TV recently. Netflix has a lot of disposable shows, and this is not one of them. This is an event that I think anyone interested in the topic should watch. So that's my thoughts. Thanks for listening. One other idea that has been pointed out is that this show focuses on the death of a female character who was stabbed, and people have pointed out that incel culture and toxic masculinity results in a lot of male on male violence, and that violence against women and girls because of incel culture is less than people imagine. The idea is a little bit more complicated than presented in this show, but I don't think it really undermines any of the concepts that the show gets across. So that's just a side note that I thought needed to be underlined a little. Obviously, violence against women is an issue that needs to be addressed. I'm not at all saying that it shouldn't be, but male on male violence is still a problem that kind of gets ignored because of probably sexism against the idea that like men are vulnerable and that only women can be vulnerable. Yeah, but that's a topic for a different video. Thanks again for hearing me out. Hope to do another review soon.